Wherever you are watching us, it's that time again to talk sports like no other on your award-winning station. Hey, thank God it's Friday. It's great to be here again, and it promises to be exciting as always right here on the show from our sports studios, Lagos, Nigeria. I am yours truly, Ayotunde Balogun.
Good morning and welcome. Great to be here again. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
Sporty greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. It's Sports This Morning on Channels TV. Always a delight to have you join us. I'm Austin Okonakwa. Now let's talk sports. On the show today, we'll continue our look at the power of sports. How powerful is sports in transforming lives? We'll talk about special sports today on the show and give special attention to wheelchair basketball in Nigeria. Last night, we told you the story of the Shitus. Mr. Shitu is playing professional wheelchair basketball in Lille. Mrs. Shitu is going to Switzerland. That's the power of sports right there. We'll talk about it today on the show.
Yes, and we'll also shift attention to the Golden Eaglets. Yes, so much talk has been said about them. It's time to get cracking at the Under-17 World Cup in Chile this weekend, Saturday to be precise, when they will be taking on the United States. Can they scale that hurdle? What do they have in store for us? We shall be taking a look at that on the show today.
And also, we will be taking a look at one man, Raul Gonzalez, who finally decided that it's a time to retire at the age of 38.
38?
Yes.
Already tired?
He says no, he just
Maybe he was a goalkeeper, he would still continue
family.
to be playing for goal. But you know, it's easier for goalkeepers to stay longer than players do. And for someone like Raul, you know, a striker, a top quality striker, he's seen it all. And playing at 38, I think he's done well for himself. So
he's still got 3 more games to go with his team. So that is definitely fabulous.
And he started very early, so young.
Yeah, I'm trying to light bumper Raul. I think he has done all he can for football. He's been there, done that. At some point, held the record for the UEFA Champions League record goal scorer. Did virtually everything he could for Real Madrid. I mean, Raul Gonzalez. I mean,
he's an institution.
Talk about him. Talk about Raul. You talk about at some point the Spanish national team. When you look at some of the guys today, and you see what they're doing, you say Raul has been there.
You know, they set the template, the set of Raul.
38, he's taken a bow. Fantastic, good one for him.
So happy, so happy for him, definitely. Well, a whole lot to be talked about on the show, so you just stick with us while we serve you with all the juicy details. You don't want to miss it, definitely, for anything. We'll definitely get to that. You talked about wheelchair basketball, and that is another interesting thing that we're going to be looking at on the show today, because you know, we talk of para sports and all of that, but you know, for basketball, you know, I can imagine the challenge. You know,
it's so sweet when we talk about special sports. I mean, it's even sweeter when we talk about the big things these guys are doing, like when you use sports to conquer life barriers, when you use sports to take your life from one step to another. Anthony Koiki was on the show the other day and says that it's heartwarming when you see these special athletes with their physical challenges, taking care of able-bodied men and women in their family.
Okay.
That's what sports can do right there. Femi Adefeso says he has watched this guy play, and I've seen some of them play, that the only thing they can't do is dunk. They can do virtually everything that your professional footballer, basketballer can do. That's talent right there. What can we do for it is to support it. What can the NSC do is to support it. Like for wheelchair basketball, they are preparing for the qualifiers for the Paralympics that will take place in Algiers, 8-Nation Championship. The victor would share wheelchair basketball. It's a good competition for them to prepare. Cecilia, what if we don't have that?
That's the thing I would say, because when some of the coaches actually complaining about the fact that they don't have enough competition, I was like, in Nigeria, when you get one, you're definitely happy. But that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have this kind of thing. You're even supposed to have a league, you know, so to speak, in Nigeria. Well, in South Africa, we do watch them most times. You see their league and all that. But in Nigeria, we don't have that. So we now have just one competition in a whole year. And you expect them to actually, get to major tournament. And taking a look at what they've done so far. Now, if you look at wheelchair basketball in Africa, you have Nigeria third, which is really huge. South Africa, of course, they're always their number. I think followed by Egypt, then Nigeria. Now, you're looking at it for Nigeria to be, talking about the men's basketball, for Nigeria to be among the top 3 in Africa, it shows that it's growing. But another thing is, what do we do in our own side? I mean, by National Sports Commission, or also maybe I think it's different. You have Olympic Committee and all that. Maybe people can actually come together. There is a president for it and see how he can, bring have a league for basketballers, because you definitely have so many of them. If you go to the stadium, some of them are not even playing in this championship. They just go there, you know, with their wheelchair, and they just enjoy themselves. While those that can even play don't even have, you know, the chair to play. And most of them are even using the ones they give to them in the hospital. But normally you're supposed to have a special wheelchair for that particular game, but you don't have it.
Yeah, I agree. Today, everything Cecilia is saying just boils down to the fact that we need to do more. But I tell you this, you find Nigeria in almost every sport competing for the top place. You just mentioned Egypt, you mentioned most of the North African countries. Go and see what they're doing there. When our special athletes travel, they say when they go to South Africa and they go to Algeria, when they go to Egypt and see the level of development for special sports there, they feel like weeping, feel like crying. Let's give big ups to the president of the Nigeria Wheelchair Basketball Federation, Bukola Olopade. He has done, you know, when he says someone is selfless, he's done virtually everything he can on his own to sustain the federation, to take care like a father to the wheelchair basketballers. Now, what if the NSC steps in, as Cecilia said, okay, Bukola, come. Let's plan a league.
Let's plan.
Let's do
draw a template.
Mini competitions. We see these guys on the streets. Let's give them wheelchair and teach them wheelchair basketball. Let's discover talent.
Because they can't do it alone, really.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying. When I spoke to Anna Babalola, she said when she went to a competition in Canada, when they saw a racing chair, an NGO had to step in to say, you can't race with this.
But that's what she's been using.
Chair, and that's the racing chair she's been using to represent our country. You know what I'm saying? So when you look, isn't this lovely to watch? When you see guys as this proving to you that
just
impossible is nothing. Look at that pass.
Look at that pass.
You know, it's I don't even know how to describe it, because sometimes I'm moved with emotions when I talk about special sports, and I'd like to see it get to a level where even each of these guys, we will have personal sponsors that will see them as ambassadors, because these guys can motivate someone out there.
Even able-bodied
inspiration to people.
Exactly.
You know, I keep saying that each time I see them, I just asking myself a lot of questions. Just you can run, you have eyes, you can go everywhere. What are you doing? You know, so when I see that we're not giving the sort of attention we can special sports,
you know, do a particular sport at this time, you can do archery or shooting. There's some sports you can actually do at this time.
It's really an interesting thing to see, because you know, we shouldn't see these special athletes and begin to feel some kind of pity for them.
Don't degrade them. Don't even let them feel that way. Treat them specially.
I mean, it doesn't speak well.
Special people. Treat them that way. You know, that's what we're trying to say to the other show. Let's not flog the issue, because we have folks from the Nigeria Wheelchair Basketball Federation who will join us later on the show to actually talk about wheelchair basketball in Nigeria. The Victor Oche Wheelchair Basketball Championship is the 4th edition. We'll also talk about the qualifiers that getting ready for in Urges, 8 Nation. I think about 2 we qualify for the Paralympics. So I like the fact that they are busy.
They are busy.
Also, para table tennis. They also qualify. So you see, they are doing all they can to stay relevant. So somebody needs to go and say, well done. Give them a tap on the back and say, we will support you. I think that's what we should do.